Okay, Torah Or Page test. Okay, next part of the Maimer. Okay, the Rabbi is explaining that the Mayim Rabbim represents the Tidus Parnasa, yet at the same time they're called Mei Noach, because only through them do you have the ultimate peace, because only through the Choshech do you come to a greater level of Or, and that's, he says, the whole union of the Neshama coming down and so on. Okay, so now he says in the second part, page test, second column, it's explained before, all these great waters, which are the worries of having a parnasa. V'naharis and the rivers. There's Mayim Rabim, the great waters. He said that's the problems of parnasa, making a living and all that stuff. Then he said Naharis represents the machshavas, the thoughts, binyonim gashmim, in the physical world. Shenikra b'shem Naharis denied of Azda because rivers keep going, keep moving. And he says, but water, basically, the difference between a lake and a river moves. A lake basically is stagnated water. I mean, it stays in one place. Nevertheless, it cannot extinguish the love that a Jew has to Hashem. Not the Mayim Rabim, meaning not all the worries of Parnasa, not the thoughts, the rivers, which represents the thoughts into the worldly things. And he says, "Va'adraba b'hem val yodam dafke, dafke in them and through them. Tov lebchinas ava yesig. You come to a greater level of ava, like he said before, the level of chol meidecha. Because Al Rebbe said before that dafke, by coming down into the world, which comes from Tehu, can you reach a level of ava b'chol meidecha that you couldn't reach otherwise." Therefore, the pasuk says afterwards, hey, even if a person will give all the treasures of his house, what is hein beisi? The treasures of the house represents the chokhmas of the Torah. Shem pirush v'tami mitzvahs, which is explanation of the reasons of the mitzvahs that come from the level of chokhmah. Like it says in the pasuk, Nohar yetze me'edan lahashkis sagan. Right, in Gan Eden, the original Gan Eden, the river came out of Eden to water the Gan. Ki me'edan is the level of Chochmah, which is Eden. Is Yetze, and Nahar comes out the level of Nahar from the level of Eden, which is Chochmah, of Hamshacha, bringing down lahashkis sagan. To water, I'll explain in a second. To water the garden, Shem Gan Sedorim Derais. Okay, the pasuk says like this. Before, there was Nahar, and there was Gan, and there was Eden. Then it became Gan Eden. But the pasuk says clearly, Nahar Yetze Eden, a river went out of Eden, Lahashki says Sagan, to water the garden. So there was Eden, then a river came out of it to water the Gan. So he says like this, Eden represents pleasure, which is a level of Chochmah. The river comes out from Chochmah, meaning the river, which he said before, is a level of Chochmah Satera, comes to water the Gan. What is Gan? Gimel Nun is the 53 Sedris in the Chumash. Okay, so the river coming out from Eden, which is a level of Chochmah, waters the Gan, which is Gan Sedorim that I said, the 53 Sedris of the Torah, which are Pirushi V'Tami HaMitzvahs, which is the explanation of the mitzvahs, and then it becomes lahashkis sagan. Then it waters, it cultivates, it nourishes the gan, right? Meaning the river that comes from Eden, the river that comes from Chochmah, to water the gan, which is the level of Torah, that nourishes it. Then it becomes Gan Eden Elyon, Gan Eden Tachten, the higher level of Gan Eden and the lower level of Gan Eden, Ad Shenishtal Shul, and mata, until it comes all the way down. And where does it come from? So he's saying that's what the pasuk says. Im yitain each as kol hein beisei represents the level of Torah, which is the level of Chochmah. which is nothing compared to the essence of Hashem, which is higher than the world. Meaning, how does a person make that this Mayim Rabim and these rivers don't extinguish the fire? Mm-hmm. Not only it doesn't extinguish it, but it makes it stronger. Like you said before, you'd even become stronger. He says this is through the level of Torah. When you learn Torah, that causes that the river, instead of extinguishing, the river represents the thoughts of worldly things. Not only it doesn't extinguish it, but on the contrary, it strengthens it.
Why does it say Pirush ala mitzvahs? It's just Torah Shabbat.
Torah is also. Okay. Torah explains the mitzvah. Okay. Torah tells us how to do it. Okay. Torah Shabbat Peh even more so, but even Torah Shabbat says Shartum Leitayadacha, Shabbos, whatever. And that's what the pasuk says. Im yitin ish shuloshin gvura v'tzimtzum. The ish is a level of tzimtzum and limitations and severity. Why? Like it says, Hashem ish mulchama. Ish is mulchama, right? Which is the concept of gvura. Meaning, in order to bring down from the essence of Hashem. Because he says, this Nahar that comes from Eid and Lashkis Zagan is only a slight revelation. It's nothing compared to the essence of Hashem. In order to bring down the essence of Hashem, he says, to bring down from the essence of Hashem, which is only, the question is like this: how from the essence of Hashem can come a limited level called Chokhmah? The essence of Hashem comes all of a sudden a limited level of Chokhmah. He said that can only be Aidei Tzimtzum with many Tzimtzum. In fact, Chassidus explains what we say every day in davening, right after Baruch Hu. Marabu Masech Hashem, Kulam B'Chokhmah Asisa Molars Kinyanecha. Simply the meaning is, it's like an expression of, wow, Marabu Masech Hashem, look how many creations you made. Kulam B'Chokhmah Asisa, you made everything with wisdom. Molars Kinyanecha, the world is full of your acquisitions. That's the simple meaning. Chassidus interprets it to mean, no, it's a question and answer. Chassidus explains, Marabu Masech Hashem means, how can diversity, Rav, a lot, come from one unit? Ya Achdus. Marabu Masech, how is it possible? The pasuk, the tefillah is saying it's a pasuk. How do you have that riboy can come from one? One is simplistic oneness. So the pasuk answers, Kulam b'chokhmah sisa, because it goes through the level of chokhmah, meaning it starts going through the level of worlds. Mola ha'aret kinya ha'aretz is malchus. So the answer to the question is, how does riboy come from one, from achdus? Because it goes through the level of tzimtzum. It goes through chokhmah, kulam b'chokhmah sisa. Mola ha'aretz kinyanecha goes through the level of malchus. And that's what the Rebbe is explaining, that the Rebbe is saying over here. How in the world can you get the level of chokhmah to come from Elokus is also an unbelievable tzimtzum. And that's what it says in Mitin, Ishes Kolhain Beise Bi'ava, which is the after B'chol Me'idecha. Hamavur L'mayla, that I explained before, is a level of B'chol Me'idecha. L'ishtabah B'guf of the Malka to hug and be connected to the body of the king, like it says, and Al Rebbe called it as before. Mili b'shamayim v'im cholei chavasi. I don't want lo Gan Eden, I don't want your Gan Eden, I don't want your Olam Haba. I only want you, because Gan Eden and Olam Haba einam rak ziva b'lvat. It's only a ray of Hashem. Hashem guy says, listen, I don't want a ray of Hashem, I want your body, I want you, I want your essence. Rishtabah b'guf the Malka shehu mehusi v'atzmuzi yizbarich. So he says it's the essence of Hashem. That's what he wants. So the answer is realization. Therefore, beis yavuzu lehein beisa now she'ein ala ziva oda, and therefore he doesn't. He says I don't want. He makes it cheap. He doesn't want the gashmistic things. He doesn't want Olam Hazeh. He doesn't even want Gan Eden. But what does he want? Achin kol zeh or apirish v'taim mitzvah, which is chokhmah satayro. But this is all, like you said before, Torah, which is the explanation of mitzvahs, not the mitzvah itself. But the actual mitzvah ma'isa, like tefillin, sukkah, tzedakah, like avaya ma'isa, tzedakah, gdeima. Shem Ritzayni is Baruch the will of Hashem, shalamayla mitam v'das, which is higher than seichel. I'll explain in a second. And nimshul b'bchinas chokhmah that comes into chokhmah. Okay, let me explain this later. Torah is the wisdom of Hashem. Mitzvahs are what Hashem wants us to do, right? It's not wisdom. Hashem says, I want you to put on tefillin. By a person, willpower is greater than wisdom. The powers of a person, the head, is a level of chokhmah. Then you come into the heart, which is midas. Then you have the lower parts of the body, which represent action. But above the head, which is the level of the crown, the keser, that's the level of willpower. Willpower is not in any particular part of the body. Intellect is in the brain. Feelings are in the heart. They're connected to a particular part of the body. Willpower, whenever you want something, immediately happens. Ratzon doesn't have any part of the body connected to. Why? Because Ratzon is above it. So, Torah is the wisdom of Hashem. Mitzvahs are the will of Hashem. The will of Hashem is much greater than the wisdom of Hashem. To be continued.